You know exactly what I'm talking about. Math is something you get or don't get. The one subject in school where people get it, they didn't have to study. They just got it. I hated those people. Math class, you could sit there, and I'd go to them off hours. I was good in math, but I didn't have that gift. I'd ask them about the problem. I remember this horrible, and this guy at the end of the hall in the dorm, he knew how to do it. And he'd explain it to me very clearly. And I'd get it when I was looking at him. I turned around, and by the time I was out of his room, literally 4 seconds later, but without any hope of recovery. I had no idea what he told me. And I was too humiliated to go back in again, right? And everybody in here who isn't good at math has seen that big 40-point question come up. And it may as well be in Sanskrit or Albanian, for all you know. Just, oh my goodness, this is hopeless. Plato said we all have access to these pure ideas and relationships. The fact that we do, and that these relationships and ideas are true in every single possible universe, timelessly, means that there's something in us that is timeless and non-cultural, and not determined by our animal needs. Evolution doesn't explain math. You don't need it. It's way too powerful a program to be an adaptation to the environment. That's why we have Lexuses and iPhones, because we can do math way beyond what we need to do. It's why we're the dominant species by far. We can do things that other species can't even begin to think about doing, because we can do numbers. It's all about digits, isn't it? Zeros and ones. It's extraordinary. And he's right. It's amazing we can do that, and it does seem to be independent of culture. I've held a cuneiform tablet from the Babylonian past, 1500 BCE, 3,500 years old, with an example of the Pythagorean formula, that the sides of it, that the transverse side of a hypotenuse of a right triangle is an irrational number, or a non-resolvable number. Never understood it then, but there it was. Same idea that tortured me in geometry when I was 15. These bastards were doing 3,500 years ago. And it was exactly the same thing. And Plato knows that, so that's pretty remarkable.
I do computer science stuff a lot with the websites.
I don't read the
I mean, a problem with like people interacting with computers, when people who write things for computers trying to make them available for human interactions, that we don't get pure logic.
That's right.
There's this part of there's this facet of irrationality in how we interact with people and how we interact with things, and because we're kind of conditioned to interact with technology like it's alive in some way.
Exactly.
I've seen my roommate, screaming at her computer all the time, and
as if it's a thing.
And so
now you just revealed something you do understand, man. I get it. You told me something about why people in here have a hard time with it. Math is simple. It is really stupid. It is so stupid that it's impossible. Anybody who's tortured through algebra, all algebra is translating signs, expressions on two sides of what? An equal sign. You already know they're the same thing. A few little rules about how to make them look the same. What could be stupider? People here have been in mortal terror of their algebra class. It's about a freaking equal sign. This equals this. There's a couple of rules about making it look the same. Hello? It's the dumbest, useless, boring thing. But people get scared of it. It becomes important. Plato noticed that people can do this, and they can do something that is not reducible to time or space or history. So he said there's something in you that lives forever. There really is your ability to do math. Okay? That's what lives beyond the grave. The mind that can do mathematics is a single mind. You ever think about that? The reason why math and logic professors get so pissy and aggravated is the assumption in the math or logic class is that everybody has exactly the same mental equipment. Exactly. In English classes and art classes, you're taught to be creative. In math class, you're taught to be completely conventional, like everybody else. And if you're not like everybody else, your teacher is angry. Okay? Yeah. So in math, the presumption is everybody is the same time. So in Plato's universe, what lives beyond is not personal. It's pure reason. And the problem is, nobody wants that, unless they're good at math. Adam doesn't want to die and live on as the sheer calculation of beautiful numerical ratios, which is what Plato said would live on. And it was completely unacceptable. People want more. They want himself. Hardin wants Hardin to live on, not his ability to do quadratic equations. But Plato says, that's it, that's all you get. That's really the soul is in Western philosophy. Everybody understand that? The ability to remain.
That's why, when we say psyche, we're usually talking about, the brain and consciousness and stuff where it's meant to previously be.
So you may be the answer. You'll be doing something, just think about that. If you're good at math, you're happy, yes.
I'm sorry, so like a soul is the thing that separates humans from everything else. It's arithmetic and
It's pure the manipulation of abstractions. Now, here's the other part of that. Plato said everything about your body gets in the way if you're doing that right. The reason why you're bad at math is you want pizza. Somebody comes in here with a hot pizza, just made. I don't care if you're a vegan, we can make a vegan pizza. Your mouth starts watering. Come on, give me some food. You'll get distracted. Your butt will start to hurt. You'll itch. You'll start thinking about sex or Mexico. Something's going to get, or you're dry cleaning, or the fact you owe $4 billion in student loans with no hope of paying it off, or some fight with your significant other or your parents. Something's going to get in the way. Your body is going to screw with you. When you are sitting in this room, bored to death, you're going to look around for somebody to look at. You're going to start thinking. Your mind will wander. You'll get distracted. I may be trying to explain binomial theorem. You won't be listening. You'll be thinking about pizza or sex. To get in the way of you being immortal are all your human qualities. Isn't that interesting? Your passions, your feelings, your love and hate.
So nothing human leaves.
A good philosopher, and a lot of philosophy people have taken this to heart, has no concern for fashion, no concern for the things of this world, doesn't eat a lot, doesn't smoke dope or cigarettes, doesn't booze it up, has very few human habits, has a minimal relationship to their body. They're calm. They're passionless, they're removed from the strife of everyday life, they don't give in to lust or anger or anything. Philosophy is a way of life that liberates the purely rational soul from the body. So that, and this is what Plato says literally, philosophy is a study of how to die. By which it means a study of how not to have a body. Most people find that perverse, counterintuitive, and just plain aggravating.